Israel has hit the Lebanese capital, Beirut, for only the second time since the start of a ceasefire last month. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, said the attack at about 11 was carried out in a targeted manner, but gave no details. Israeli media cited unnamed sources as saying the target of the strike had been the head of an Iranian militia.
Italian authorities have seized more than 232 meters in assets linked to the late mafia boss Matteo Messina Denaro, targeting a network built on decades of drug trafficking and financial laundering. The operation, announced on Thursday and led by Italy's financial police, the Guardia di Finanza, traced the funds across Europe and offshore jurisdictions, dismantling what officials described as a vast criminal fortune accumulated since the 1980s. A former senior Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, official has been accused of criminal theft of public money after hundreds of gold bars worth more than $40 meters were found hidden in his home. David Rush, the former official, was arrested on May 19, according to a joint statement released by the CIA and Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI.
South Africa's parliament is set to launch an impeachment inquiry into President Cyril Ramaphosa over the Farmgate scandal, marking a new phase in a political crisis that continues to shadow his presidency. The Democratic Alliance party said on Thursday that the committee tasked with examining the allegations will hold its first meeting on Monday, following a ruling by the Constitutional Court which revived the process.
Visa has announced an undisclosed investment in AI coding platform Replit. The two companies are also exploring how to integrate Visa's payment products into Replit so that developers and the AI agents they build can accept payments directly from customers without leaving the platform. Visa added that more than 1,000 of its employees have been using Replit for prototyping and development. As part of the partnership, the companies are exploring how developers on Replit can use Visa's suite for AI-powered payments, called Visa Intelligent Commerce, as well as Visa's Trusted Agent Protocol, a system that allows AI agents to securely identify themselves by sharing information like their intent and relevant customer details so that payments made by agents can be verified and trusted. All of these projects are in an exploratory stage, and the companies haven't formally announced any joint products.
Early bird pricing ends tomorrow, May 29 at 11:59 p.m. PT. After that, prices for TechCrunch Disrupt 2026 go up. Miss this, and you'll be paying more for the same access to one of the most anticipated tech epicenters of the year. Register now to secure discounts of up to $410 on your pass or up to 30% on group passes. If you want to raise capital, hire top talent, launch your startup, or discover your next portfolio company, missing Disrupt from October 13-15 at San Francisco's Moscone West is not an option.
China and Pakistan have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral military cooperation and strategic coordination, with the Chinese Defense Ministry describing the relationship between the two countries as an enduring ironclad friendship. Speaking at the monthly press briefing on Thursday, Chinese Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Jiang Bin commented on the recent high-level exchanges between the two countries during Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's official visit to China.
Hottest year since records began is almost certain to occur within the next 5 years, according to the Weather Agency of the United Nations. In a report published on Thursday, the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, warned there is an 86% chance that one of the next 5 years will surpass 2024 as the warmest on record. Previous World Cup appearances, 22 best performance, winners, 1958, 1962, 1994, 2002, first appearance, 1930, Uruguay, top goal scorer, Ronaldo 15, most appearances, Cafu 20 player to watch, Vinicius Junior FIFA World Ranking, 6 Brazil are the only team to have played in every World Cup and are also the tournament's most decorated side with 5 titles. Yet they have now gone a full 24 years without lifting the trophy, as recent disappointments have ranged from traumatic losses, 7-1 at home to Germany in 2014, to damp squibs, losing to Croatia on penalties in the quarter-finals of 2022.
Ashton in Makerfield, United Kingdom. In a scenario few could have predicted, voters in a northern English market town near Manchester could determine the United Kingdom's future political leadership. The surprise resignation of the Labour Party's Ashton in Makerfield MP, Josh Simons, in late February left the supposedly safe seat open, paving the way for the popular Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, to step in.
United States President Donald Trump has threatened longtime ally Oman with military force if it gets involved in the dispute over shipping access to the Strait of Hormuz. As Washington's war on Iran once again risks engulfing the Middle East, Trump's threat on Wednesday to blow up Oman came as May Muscat reportedly held talks with Iran about overseeing passage through the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic waterway that handles more than 20% of the world's global oil traffic.
The raging demand for computers to run AI models has only accelerated. But there are 2 major obstacles that anyone in the business needs to overcome: getting the right chips, getting them into data centers where they can start generating revenue. General Compute, a new inference neocloud, a company that rents out AI processing power, specializing in the phase when models are running and responding to users rather than being trained, has answers to those questions that illuminate where the AI ecosystem is headed. Those answers helped it raise a $15 million seed round at a $60 million post-money valuation, led by Fuse VC with participation from Carrier Venture Partners and Village Global Ventures.
Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishak Dar will visit Washington on Friday, where he will meet with US Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Thursday. The visit comes as Islamabad is attempting to negotiate a peace pact to permanently end the US-Israeli war with Iran.
A fire tore through a dormitory at a girls' school in a town in Kenya's Rift Valley overnight, killing 16 students, the government said on Thursday. The fire, whose cause has not been established, broke out just after midnight at the Utumishi Girls Academy Senior School in Gilgil in west-central Kenya and burned for more than 2 hours, Education Minister Julius Migos told reporters.
Iran's delegation for the World Cup must be issued multiple entry visas for their fixtures in the United States. A top official of the Iranian Football Federation, FIRI, said 2 days after FIFA confirmed the relocation of the team's base camp from the US to Mexico, FIRI President Mehdi Taj said on Wednesday that he expects the US to issue visas for the World Cup squad and support staff for the tournament kicking off in 3 weeks.
Arrow on Thursday unveiled the 5th generation of its popular smart ring, starting at $399. The Ring 5, which Arrow describes as the world's smallest smart ring, arrives just a year and a half after the company launched the Ring 4 and 7 months after the Ring 4 ceramic. The Ring 5 is 40% smaller than its predecessor and comes with more accurate sensing and enhanced battery life. The Ring 5 is launching alongside new software updates that include blood pressure signals, live activity tracking, on-demand care, and other features that will also roll out to the Oura Ring Gen 3 and later. US forces deployed to war zones have been targeted using commercially available location data, according to reports fielded by military officials, an illustration of how the global surveillance economy is shaping the battlefield. In a letter shared with Reuters by US Senator Ron Wyden, an Oregon Democrat, US Central Command said it had received multiple threat reports, CENTCOM exploitation or surveil US personnel data to target or surveil US personnel in theatre. The US Department of Justice, DOJ, has opened a criminal investigation into writer E. Jean Carroll, who accused President Donald Trump of sexual assault. CBS News, the BBC's US partner, has reported the investigation is looking into whether Carroll committed perjury in connection with civil cases she brought against Trump. The news outlet quotes sources as saying.
A man has been arrested after 3 people were injured in a stabbing attack at a train station in Switzerland, police said. They said the 3 victims, Swiss nationals, aged 28, 43 and 52, were hospitalised after the attack at Winterthur train station.
Iran has said it used a new air defence system to shoot down a United States MQ-9 Reaper drone near the Strait of Hormuz earlier this week. An incident analysts say shows that Tehran has retained its capacity to repel US and Israeli attacks despite months of strikes on its military sites. Iranian media said the drone was brought down near Keshim Island in the Strait of Hormuz, adding that the interception marked the first combat use of a locally developed called Arash-e-Kamangir.
Marcelo Bielsa is widely revered as a pioneer of coaching, but his unconventional methods risk ruining Uruguay's World Cup chances before the tournament has even begun, with rumours of dressing room unrest. Nicknamed El Loco, which means madman, the 70-year-old's bold, attacking approach has proved an inspiration to a younger generation of coaches, including Pep Guardiola and USA boss Mauricio Pochettino.
Republic of Ireland manager Heimir Hallgrímsson has challenged his players to win this war against Israel when the teams meet in the Nations League amid renewed protests in the Irish Parliament about the games. The Football Association of Ireland has been under pressure to boycott the 2 matches, including a home fixture in Dublin on October 4.
At least 16 people have been killed and 58 wounded in Israeli attacks in southern Lebanon, according to Lebanese health authorities, as Israel intensifies its assault and issues mass displacement orders across the region. Lebanon's state-run national news agency reported on Thursday that 6 of the victims belonged to the same family. They were killed in an Israeli drone strike while trying to flee at dawn along the Adlun Tyre, it said. A key route linking Sidon and Tyre, it said.
Finance Minister Mohammed Aurangzeb has said that the federal government is trying to ensure the upcoming budget places the minimum possible burden on the public. Speaking to a private news channel, the finance minister said the budget will prioritise strengthening tax enforcement and compliance since introducing new taxes.
A man was arrested after allegedly injuring 3 people in a knife attack at a train station in the Swiss city of Winterthur near Zurich, local police said on Thursday. Police said the attack happened shortly after 2:30 a.m. ET, and the suspected perpetrator, 31-year-old Swiss national, was arrested. The 3 victims of the attack were receiving hospital care, according to the police statement.
An Israeli air raid in northern Gaza has killed at least 10 people, including 4 children, health officials said, as Israel continues with its near-daily attacks despite a nominal ceasefire being in place. More than 20 others were injured in the attack on a residential building in Gaza City late on Wednesday, officials said.
In the race against China for AI supremacy, the United States dominates when it comes to access to the most cutting-edge semiconductors. But when it comes to powering the huge data centers that run on AI chips, China holds the clear advantage.
Germany sporting director Rudi Völler has urged members of the World Cup 2026 squad to avoid making political statements during this summer's tournaments. Speaking from Germany's pre-World Cup camp in northern Bavaria, Völler said players were not under a gag order, but encouraged them to keep sport and politics somewhat separate while at the finals.
At least 16 students have been killed when a fire ripped through a dormitory at a girls' school in a town in central Kenya, police and a government official say. Education Minister Julius Ogamba said on Thursday that 79 were injured after the fire broke out overnight at the Utumishi Girls' School in Gilgil, Nakuru County.
Hope has returned for the 5 trapped men deep inside a flooded Laos cave. For more than a week, they huddled together above the murky waters in the pitch black, more than 260 meters from the cave's entrance, wondering if anyone would ever find them. On Wednesday, after days of hunger, salvation finally came as rescuers emerged from the darkness, illuminating the narrow rocky cavern with their headlamps.